As you saw in the thumbnail, we're going to talk about the statue hobby in general, statue collecting in general. And I was thinking of calling it like a chat. However, it's one-sided because you really can't respond to what I'm saying. However, now that I think about it, I've been married for 20 years. A lot of times my wife wants to chat, and that's very one-sided as well. Hey, my name is Mr. X. Welcome to the Extreme Channel. We are giving away $1,000 statues to you guys. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. This was a difficult video for me to figure out if I wanted to do or not for a few different reasons. Number one, I didn't want any clickbait. Number two, it's been a hot topic lately, and for that reason, I think people might think this is clickbait, but I really just wanted to give my opinion. And my opinion has been given in a few indirect videos in the past. For example, I talked about why so many people are leaving the statue collecting hobby in this video right here. We all know in the mid-year of 2024, the economy is a lot tougher than it is. Inflation is high, things are expensive. My tax bill on my home just went up $400 a month. I mean, $400 a month is a lot of money. That could buy me like 1/10 of a statue nowadays. Really quickly, I'm going to tell you my premise here. I don't think the statue hobby is dying. I don't even think it's necessarily weakening. I think it's evolving. I think it's changing. And I'm going to tell you two stories that kind of were aha moments for me that helped me correlate about the statue collecting hobby. So first story I'm going to tell you, you guys know that I talk about it all the time because it's one of my favorite things. I have these club special NFL tickets to our local NFL team. There's a video here, and they're very expensive seats. And we get a lot of perks with it, and one of the perks, we got invited to a VIP party for the NFL draft, and we went there and we talked to our account manager who we know very well, and Cameron was telling us, he's like, it's interesting, as they build more and more stadiums, they are evolving what stadiums look like. And we brought up that we were at Allegiant Field back in late 2023 where the Raiders play, and there were actual booths in the end zone, like booths that you would sit in and order at a restaurant. And they're tens of thousands of dollars, just like suites. And he said that they are building stadiums to really cater to that type of buyer instead. People who are going to pay, $20,000 to $100,000 for seats for the season, as opposed to people who would pay $3,000 to $10,000. They're removing those cheaper seats and building them out into these mega suites. And then later in the year, our club was the most inclusive club they have there. They opened up an even more inclusive club that he actually gave us a sneak preview to a few weeks ago at a concert. And those are like $40,000 a seat. Now, I'm not crazy. I'm not buying those. So that was one story. The other story is we recently were on this amazing cruise. It was a newer ship. And one of the things we noticed is a third of the boat on the top 3 floors or so, the 3 decks, were boarded off to what they call a retreat area. So this was for only people who book suites. Now, on cruises, they have a number of different suites. Some suites are just slightly bigger than other rooms, but you get a lot of the perks. Some of those holy big shit suites that are absolutely amazing and cost $50,000 to $100,000 for a week. But it hit me that they took away all this space for the common folk for these highly, highly elite people. And then it really hit me with prices going through the roof in these really big, expensive pieces, life-size busts at $4,000, 1/6 scale Final Fantasy pieces at $12,000. Hell, I'm looking at a few life-size pieces behind me that are $10,000 each. The statue collecting companies are doing what everybody else is doing. They're squeezing out the middle class to lower middle class to really go for that upper middle class or that higher, what do they call, upper class customers. That's what's happening. That's what the companies are evolving to. Now, I don't know if this is a good move or not for the hobby. I think it's the right move for the statue companies, and for a few reasons. Reason number one, I think those people in the upper class, they're not going to be affected as much by people in the middle class when it comes to economy. Yeah, I have to pay an extra $400 a month because of my new tax bill, but that's not going to break my pockets. For somebody making average income, it might be a huge hit. So I think they're going to have that same consistent customer base and not always be reliant on what's going on in the world. However, you narrow down your customer base, you don't have as many customers. But then again, you can argue if our average piece is now $4,000 instead of $800, I only have to sell 20% as much. Not only do you only have to sell 1 out of 5, but the less transactions you do as a business, if that price tag is higher, the more profit you're actually going to make. you have a lot less risk. You're dealing with one customer instead of 5. You're dealing with shipping one statue instead of 5. Think about statues that are lost. Think about statues that are broken. Think about dealing with those unreasonable buyers that complain about everything. So I think there's a lot of pros and cons to doing this. But unfortunately, it's making statue collecting no longer an average man or a lower middle class man or woman's game, which is shunning a lot of people, and I get that. It also deters collectors like me who have bought hundreds and hundreds of statues of no longer buying these huge, massive collections. So I also think that they don't know if this strategy is going to work because it takes years to figure that out. So in summary, I know instead of 5 or 10 minutes, I could have just told you at the beginning, I think that the statue hobby is not dying. I think that it's just evolving into almost a rich man's game. And with that being said, we see a lot of discounted pieces and lower edition sizes because those are kind of remnants of the way the hobby used to be. Hell, I say this all the time. When I started, quarter scale statues were like $300. And here it is 8 years later, they're $1,500 to $2,000 or even more sometimes, especially when you tag in shipping. So I don't know if this strategy is going to work. I don't own a statue company or a statue distribution company. In my head, it greatly varies not only who you're selling to, but how to sell to those people. So a lot of people in that more elite, higher end income brackets, they're not watching Mr. X on YouTube. They're not going to Comic-Cons. So you need to find a better way to reach them. And maybe statue companies are already doing that. I honestly do not know. But that's my theory of what's going on. The statue hobby isn't dying, it's evolving, just like so many other things in the world, which in my opinion, from a for-profit statue company, more power to you. Do what you have to do. Maybe they were forced to by the economy and other economic factors. I don't know. However, I think it's a shame because I don't want to just hang out with people who are in upper middle class or higher middle class. I love meeting people from all walks of life, and I think that's what statue collecting does. It brings all these people together that share this one passion, although they're very different, and this is just eliminating some of those differences, unfortunately. What do you guys think? Am I wrong? Does it sound right? Throw that down in the comments below, because the good news is you can still win a statue. As we try to grow this channel, we like to reward you guys for watching and subscribing. So because of that, every 5,000 milestone when it comes to subscribers, we give away a couple $1,000s worth of statues. We've actually given away over 20 statues. To win one was easy. First, you gotta be subscribed to the channel. You'll get bell notifications when videos drop. Each video that drops, you wanna make a comment on those videos. We pick a random video, we give away statues based on a comment. You can say whatever you want. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, just giving my 2 cents. Please give your $4 back to me in the comments below. Why did I say 2 cents? It's so weird. But in the meantime, just drop me a like, and I appreciate you watching. Talk to you soon. Take care.